Welcome to this tutorial. What is data engineering? Before we define what data engineering is, I want us to first talk about what is data. Most companies today in this world that we have a different social network, and there are a lot of data out there that a lot of people doesn't even know what to do with it. The data are overwhelming, and if you know how to pull the data together, where to look for a data, how to consolidate the data, you can be able to derive intelligence out of the data. And in this world, information is power. And in this age of data-driven decision making, efficient data engineering is paramount for businesses seeking to leverage their data asset effectively. Cloud technologies have revolutionized the field of data engineering, and they provide a scalable, flexible, and cost-effective solution. And the purpose of data engineering is the practice of designing and building a system for collecting and storing data and analyzing the data at scale. Now, you can have the data in form of a flat file, or your data is stored in a database, or you have the data in a JSON format, or even getting the data from the REST API or some of the IoT events out there. If you come from the field of business intelligence, that you already understand how to use SSIS package and to do ETL, like extract, transform, and load data. Data engineering is almost the same thing, because you are trying to get data from a source, and the source can be either flat file, like database like we mentioned earlier, or a lot of people nowadays, they're getting data from different multiple sources. The process of getting the data, extracting it, transforming it, and loading it into a format that will make it easy for a business analyst or someone else to use the data and be able to derive intelligence from it. That is what we call data engineering. And in the world today, like I said, there are a lot of cloud technologies out there that make this easy for us to do. And if you can apply your knowledge of SSIS package or understanding of how to clean data into this data engineering field, this is going to make it easy for you to get into the field and be able to start your career. Now, there are tools out there like Databricks. Databricks is a very great analytical tool, and at the same time, you can use it to transform, extract, and load the data. If you don't want to use any other tool out there and you just want to focus on Databricks, with the knowledge of T-SQL and ability for you to either understand Java or understand how to write a Python, you can use Databricks to extract, transform, and load data. Then there's another tool out there with Azure Data Factory. If you combine Databricks with Azure Data Factory, that will take you to a different level, because you can use the Databricks to create a notebook that you can use to transform data and make it dynamic in such a way that you can pass multiple files into one Databricks and be able to use that to clean a lot of files. Instead of writing multiple notebooks, you write one notebook with a widget, you pass your file like a variable to the Databricks, and use the Azure Data Factory like an orchestration tool to schedule and to run the Databricks. That is going to take your data engineering to the next level. And if you now want to even save the data, you can use the Azure blob to save your data. So in Azure, the same thing happens in AWS. You can use S3 bucket to save your data. There are a lot of tools out there in AWS that you can use to orchestrate your Databricks. But in this tutorial, we're going to focus on Databricks. But before I take you into that, I want to show you how we can combine these technologies together. This is a perfect data pipeline that you can use to get data from different sources, whether it's a log file, whether it's structured or unstructured. That you use the data factory to ingest the data. Pulling data over the network can be tedious and stressful for the system. So the best thing you want to do is to first get your data, whether it's structured or unstructured, using data factory and store it in a data lake or kind of a blob. Then after that, you use the data factory to transform and prep the data. And you can even use Azure Data Factory also to schedule or to orchestrate the Azure Databricks in order for you to have the notebook to run multiple files, to clean multiple files for you and to transform and train them. Then you can now, once you have your data clean, you can either save it in a database or connect an application or connect a Power BI to it. This tutorial, we're going to focus on Databricks. I want to show you the simplest way that you can start your data engineering by using the Databricks. The Databricks make it easy for us to have a place where we can train. Databricks is available both in Azure and AWS. But if you want to start to practice, you don't want to go there because it's expensive to spin up Azure Databricks in any of those clouds. But there's a community edition that we can use for our training, and we're going to start there. Though there are limited functionality compared to what is in Azure or AWS, but the community edition tool is going to give us a place for us where we can try all a different way of using or creating a notebook in Azure Databricks and be able to use it in real world. So let's go there and sign up for it. Okay, let's go into our browser and search for Databricks Community Edition. Okay. And this. The first thing is for us to sign up. Since we don't have a sign up here, this is where to log in. But in order for us to sign up, we're going to find sign up for Databricks Community Edition. So once you come to this link, you're going to click on Try Databricks. Now, you're going to provide your information. Then you click on Continue. Then after that, now, if you want to use the trial edition, if you just want to get the full version of Databricks, that you just want to try, then you can click any one of these, either AWS, Microsoft Azure, or Google Cloud. A fresh version of the Databricks is going to be spun up for you. Then you can use it in any one of these, depends on your cloud preference that you want. But if you need the community edition, you need to come down here and click on Get Started with Community Edition. Then once you click on this, you're gonna get a link in your email, and once you get the link, you're gonna ask to create a password that you can now use that information to log in. Now, I already did this, so I'm gonna go ahead and log in for the first time. Then we'll see what that look like. Now, when you open the Databricks Community Edition, this is the login that will be presented to you, and just gonna smart choice anyhow gmail.com. So that is it. So when you log in, this is the screen that's going to be presented to you. Don't be overwhelmed. We're going to go through this step-by-step tutorial. We're going to go through this step-by-step. Then I'm going to walk you through how to load a data from different format, like JSON, either from text or even from XML. We're going to go through it and we're going to create a notebook. And from that notebook, we can create a dynamic notebook that we can use to load multiple data. Let's go to the next lecture, then we'll continue from there.